It was November 28th, 1994, and the scene could not have been more ordinary. A routine delivery, a common occurrence. Wells Fargo's armored truck was parked in a mall parking lot, just like any other. The sun was setting, casting a warm glow over the city of Arizona. Inside the truck, two men prepared to make their standard drop-off. One man stayed in the truck, John Cash, the driver, while his partner went inside the mall to collect the day's funds. The truck was secured, the money protected. It seemed like nothing out of the ordinary. But when the partner returned, the van was gone. John Cash was gone, and so was the money. $1.1 million vanished. The mall was bustling, but no one saw anything. No one heard a thing. It was as if the truck had evaporated into thin air. Cash had simply disappeared, and no trace of the armored vehicle remained. Before we dive deeper into this eerie heist, be sure to subscribe and hit the notification bell. You won't want to miss the rest of this chilling true crime tale. For hours, the FBI scoured the area, but there were no leads. No eyewitnesses, no surveillance footage, nothing. The police quickly suspected John Cash, the driver, was involved, but there was no evidence linking him to the crime. His apartment was undisturbed, his background clean, his life seemingly without any hint of criminal behavior. How could someone disappear without a trace, without leaving any sign of foul play? The armored truck was equipped with the highest security. Nothing could be accessed without setting off alarms. So how had the thieves gotten in? The investigation seemed to be hitting a wall. The FBI expanded their search efforts, looking for any sign of the missing truck or the driver. They tracked down Cash's friends, family, and colleagues, but found nothing suspicious. Then a breakthrough came, but it wasn't the one they were hoping for. A call came in from a local witness. The armored van had been seen again, this time in a nearby church parking lot. The authorities rushed to the scene, hoping for answers. When they arrived, they found the van empty, but inside, lying lifeless on the floor, was John Cash. His body was cold, and he'd been shot. The mystery deepened. The truck's security systems hadn't been breached. No signs of a struggle. Cash had been executed. The money was gone, and the FBI was left with more questions than answers. As the investigation progressed, the FBI uncovered more disturbing clues. The bulletproof armor on the truck was untouched. Cash's gun was still holstered, and the money, over $1 million, was nowhere to be found. The authorities started piecing together fragments of Cash's life. He had been a model employee at Wells Fargo for years. No criminal history, no debts. Cash's family and friends spoke of his quiet nature. So why would he get involved in a crime like this? Suspicion mounted, and fingers began to point in every direction, including toward Cash's own family. But after months of digging, the evidence simply didn't add up. Was it an inside job? Was it Cash's doing? Or was there something even bigger happening beneath the surface? The breakthrough came when a witness reported seeing a red pickup truck tailing the armored van moments before it disappeared. It wasn't much to go on, but it was a lead. The truck had been spotted speeding past a busy intersection just outside the mall. The FBI began tracking down any information they could find on the mysterious red truck. This piece of evidence shifted the focus away from John Cash as the main suspect and onto a larger operation. The FBI believed that the red pickup truck was key to solving the case. The suspects were narrowed down to 3 men: James Green, Timothy Ring, and William Ferguson. Each of them had ties to criminal activity. Timothy Ring, in particular, stood out. A former FBI informant, he had a knack for getting inside information and using it for his benefit. But it wasn't just about the stolen money. What was most shocking was how much time Timothy had spent planning the heist. This wasn't a spur-of-the-moment crime. No, this was a calculated effort involving insiders, meticulous planning, and careful execution. The FBI began to realize that this was no ordinary robbery. This was something far more elaborate, something that went deeper than anyone had imagined. The more the FBI learned about Timothy and his accomplices, the more they understood the scale of the operation. Timothy wasn't just a criminal. He was a master strategist. He had orchestrated every step of the robbery, using his knowledge of Wells Fargo's systems to plan the perfect crime. He knew exactly when to strike, where the van would be, and how to get in and out without leaving a trace. He had used his position as an informant to gain access to confidential information about armored truck routes and security protocols. With this inside knowledge, he knew exactly when the van would be vulnerable. But his biggest mistake? Underestimating the FBI's ability to piece everything together. The breakthrough came when investigators found an old, forgotten receipt in Timothy's apartment. It was for a red pickup truck rental. The truck matched the description given by the witness. Timothy had rented the vehicle just days before the heist, and it was the key to unlocking the case. The FBI now had solid proof that Timothy was involved, but there was still no sign of the money. It was clear that the heist was well planned, and the criminals had gone to great lengths to cover their tracks. With enough evidence to make an arrest, the FBI moved swiftly. They apprehended Timothy, James, and William. Each of them had been involved in some capacity, but Timothy was the mastermind. He had orchestrated the entire operation, using his knowledge of security systems and his connections within Wells Fargo to pull off the perfect crime. But even with their arrests, the question remained: where was the stolen money? As the FBI interrogated the suspects, they learned more about the heist's execution. Timothy had planned everything, including the murder of John Cash. He had made sure that no one would be left behind to spill the secrets of the heist. It was a brutal, efficient plan, until it began to unravel. Timothy's arrogance had led him to believe he could outsmart the FBI, but in the end, it was his own greed and carelessness that brought him down. The stolen money was eventually traced to a hidden safe house in a nearby warehouse. The criminals had used a complex network of laundered funds to cover their tracks. But the FBI's patience paid off. After weeks of surveillance, they finally located the money, and the majority of it was recovered. The mastermind, Timothy, thought he had gotten away with it, but in the end, justice was served. The FBI had pieced together every clue, and the stolen funds were returned. The arrest sent shockwaves through the criminal world. Timothy Ring was sentenced to life in prison for his role in orchestrating one of the most daring and calculated heists in American history. James Green and William Ferguson were also sentenced to long prison terms. But for many, the real victory wasn't just the recovered money. It was the knowledge that justice had been served. The heist that seemed impossible had been solved, and the criminals who thought they could outsmart the FBI learned the hard way that no one is beyond the reach of the law. If you're stunned by the scale and precision of this heist, be sure to hit the subscribe button for more true crime stories that uncover the most shocking crimes of all time. Don't forget to turn on notifications so you never miss a new episode.